And when your name is called, go ahead and line up behind the podium, and we're going to ask that you just start as soon as the person ahead of you is finished.
Alyssa Oliver, Noelle Brand, Emily Hallbeg, Katie Crockett, Michael Christensen, Rachel Hitchcock, Maria Campos, Maricel Rodriguez, and Christy Catton.
The board is seeking to cut $15 million from the budget. However, there are no recommendations to cut admin positions. In fact, the superintendent received a $15,000 increase with an additional 2% COLA. You are not looking to cut from the top. You are instead looking to cut from the bottom, but you do not spend any time in the classroom. You do not see what special education teachers and families deal with each and every day. You are putting the most vulnerable students at risk. If you haven't spent any time in the special education classrooms, then you have no business voting to make cuts at any point. PVUSD's share of students with disabilities is rising, not falling. PVUSD is above the county and state average for special education enrollment with 14.62% and 14.25% respectively. Cutting aides, clinicians, and behaviorists make inclusion of students with disabilities more difficult and more restrictive. Students like my younger brother will suffer. The community should not be in fear of job cuts, and they should not need to fear for the future of the next generation. Now, I want to ask everyone in this room who is against cuts to teachers, classified staff, and cuts to special education to please stand up right now for the board to see who is here for this item, but who will not necessarily speak. Thank you.
Oliver, okay. Can you, a reminder, please state your name when you're going to speak.
Emily Halbig, I'm at Cesar Chavez Middle School. I just want to start off by saying that I think it's a joke that you brought up the sustainable budget team in this presentation because it was a sham. The superintendent knew what she had planned to cut and framed the whole process around attempting to have a team sign off on it. My name was up there on that wall tonight, but I do not endorse this, and I am offended that you would insinuate that we had talked about any of what is being proposed in those meetings. So right now, Alcatraz is running an exhibit showing the correlation between literacy rates and incarceration rates in the U.S. It highlights how much more likely someone is to end up in prison if they can't read. Now think of what's on the chopping block today. Reading intervention teachers, counselors, mental health clinicians, classroom teachers, instructional aides, behavior techs, the very people who work directly with our most vulnerable students. We all know that the school-to-prison pipeline is real. We know it disproportionately affects Black and brown communities. And when I see this list of proposed cuts, it really just feels like our district leadership is saying, well, our hands are tied, there's nothing we can do. See, look at this data, cuts need to be made, it's gonna be hard, blah, blah, blah. True leadership isn't about accepting the easy answer. This is the time to get creative. Trustees, our students are counting on you. We owe it to them to fight for them, to give them every chance to learn, to dream, and to build the futures they deserve. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Rachel Hitchcock, and I have taught at a Mesty Elementary School since 2001. I love being a teacher, and I am here to ask that PVUSD work diligently to ensure that they are creating the best possible learning environment for their students, because that is also the best possible work environment for their educators. After eliminating 50 certificated non-management positions last year, PVUSD now claims they need to eliminate over 160 more certificated and classified positions this year. This will definitely negatively impact students and families, which will in turn negatively impact the underpaid educators and their support staff working tirelessly to support them. While PVUSD is saying cuts to educators and support staffs must be made, Dr. Contreras got an 11% salary increase. The CBO got an 18% salary increase. And now PVUSD is asking for a name change for a technology position that will come with a $20,000 raise. If the budget is in such dire straits that educator and support staff cuts need to be made, why are the people who are already making the most money getting raises? Cabinet level raises happening at the same time as educator and support staff layoffs is disrespectful. Please show PVUSD educators, students, staff, families respect by not allowing more layoffs of those who work the closest to students while at the same time giving absurd cabinet level raises. Thank you.
With all due respect to all of you up there, we understand that cuts need to happen, but why do they always have to seem to start with positions that have the most direct impact on students? Have any of you truly seen what a classified employee does day in, day out? When you cut these roles, you're not affecting classified or certified directly. It's our students that are suffering, our families, the entire support system that's there to help them succeed in life. Please take another look at the proposed cuts, at our behavior technicians, instructional aides, health clerk assistants, mental health clinicians, and so many others that you have mentioned. These are the people who show up every day for our students, day in and day out. I was a behavior tech for a long time, 13 years. Cutting these means cutting the heart of our students, pieces at a time. Please reconsider.
Hello, my name is Noelle Brand. I'm a teacher at Cesar Chavez Middle School. I'm also a parent at Mar Vista. And I did really quickly want to comment on that creative solution of Mar Vista as a K through 8. Currently, their 7th grade has 8 students. They have a teacher for 8 students. We are waiting for STEAM. I don't know where it is because my kid can't tell me. I mean, she doesn't tell me anything, but her teachers are still waiting, and I know that. So I'm unsure how this creative solution is helping our district as a whole. Really, I love that school deeply, but also, man, that's 8 kids and a fully staffed teacher. Now, I do have a creative solution. It's been mentioned before. I feel like the board doesn't take this into account. I'm not sure why, because I'm not sure if you guys give answers or not. But what I think is that we should close the towers. CCMS has 5 closed classrooms right now. Come to CCMS, use our classrooms. Oh my God. And then the thing I said last month where you guys could come in and sub, you would be right there. And you could get my chocolate chip cookies once a month. I make them, they're delicious. But if we have all these classrooms that we've cut off, that we've closed, that we have done to save money, so we're not paying the water bill, we're not paying electricity, we're not paying for maintenance, why are we paying for this massively humongous building where everyone is? When we have space at our school sites, and then you guys can be there, you can see it, you can be involved, you can be with us and part of us. So I'd like to think of that as a creative solution instead of cutting at the ground what affects our students all the way through. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Michael Christensen. I'm a parent. My son Jonah is part of the special ed program, and we initially, he's over at Real Demar, and I see his teachers over here, Miss Donica, the baby behaviorist, Heather, Maggie, the speech therapist. We came to special ed. We started out in the private sector, and when Jonah was 3, and they said, "Your kid can't be here anymore. He was too disruptive." And so my wife and I didn't have a place to go. That's where we found out about IEPs, special ed, and how about we could give our son a voice. And that's really what these people do. They're saints to us. They gave our chance for our kid to have a voice. He's growing, he's thriving, he's doing all these incredible changes that they would not happen at the private level. We were willing to pay any price. We were willing to go for any help. There was none there. And now to hear all these cuts that want to happen, these really are, you'll hear it time and time again, they're the most vulnerable. My son's name is Jonah, but I have to say his name because he can't say his own name. And so we need to be his voice for him. And so I really want to encourage you guys to look for solutions that are not cutting into or impacting a portion of the student population that really is the most vulnerable. At the federal level, they've already eliminated the special ed department. Let's not follow precedent and be part of that as well. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Christy Catton and I'm a PVUSD special education teacher. I've been employed by the district since 2019 and I'm here to advocate for my little students who do not yet have a voice. It's my job to ensure children with disabilities in our community are receiving the services that are guaranteed to them under the Americans with Disabilities Act. This job has become increasingly more difficult under the leadership of our current superintendent. 3 out of 3 special education directors resigned in the last year. Directors whose children attended PVUSD schools, who love our community, and whose jobs were no longer tenable under the constraints placed on them by an administration who sees children with differences as merely an expense, an easy way to cut costs. Already, we have seen several cuts for our littlest and most vulnerable students. Due to this domino effect of our SPED leadership resigning, our preschool program specialist and behaviorist moved to other districts. Both of their positions were immediately cut, and their job responsibilities dispersed to other specialists and behaviorists, 2 of who are being discussed for layoffs tonight. I would like to speak to the recommendation that the district cut 40 BT and IA positions. The fact that certain employees were hired during COVID does not mean that they were hired because of COVID or that we need them less. As a mentor teacher, I have the privilege of visiting our special classes throughout the district. I would encourage our superintendent or board members to visit and decide for themselves whether we are overstaffed. Yes, there are more adults in the room because we are supporting children who are learning to speak, learning to use the bathroom, learning how to be safe with their bodies, in addition to teaching curriculum. Thank you.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es María Campos.
Si puede esperar.
Thank you.
And then 3 minutes.
Empiezo, ¿no? Sí, mi nombre es María Campos. Yo nada más quiero pedirles de favor que piensen para no cortar la consejería. ¿El por qué? Porque yo lo he vivido en vida real. Mi familia, gracias a los consejeros, salvaron a 2 de mis hermanos de que se fueran a suicidio, a ahorcar y otro a matarse solo.
Good night. I come to ask to please reconsider the potential decisions to cut counselors. My family has been helped twice. 2 of my brothers have attempted suicide, and thanks to them they're alive today.
Mi nombre es María Campos.
And my name is María Campos.
Nada más quiero que piensen que la decisión que tomen depende de salvar vidas, de el futuro de nuestros hijos, de adultos. Yo, gracias a una consejera, llegué a creer en Dios nuevamente. Gracias a que pude tener consejería por 7 años, me di cuenta que mi hija ocupa consejería. En cuanto yo le noté los síntomas que yo sentía, acudí a ellas. Mi pregunta.
And I do want to tell you that thanks to receiving counseling services for 7 years, I started believing in God again. And thanks to the services that I received, I started seeing the signs in my daughter, and I was able to refer her to the services that she needed with a counselor.
Ahora miro la diferencia de mi hija, cómo ha mejorado bastante, con lo cual le agradezco definitivamente a todos los consejeros que nos han dado la ayuda, porque sin ellos muchos de nosotros no podríamos salir adelante. ¿Y quién mejor yo de expresarlo que yo lo viví en persona? Porque nadie nos va a comprender, solamente los que hemos pasado por situaciones difíciles.
And no one will understand what we're going through, only the people who helped us through rough times. And I did want to mention, she said before, that the decisions that you are making today, or when you do make these decisions, those will be the difference between life and death and the future of many students.
Ahora mi pregunta, ¿qué harían ustedes cuando trabajamos 65 horas a la semana, la quincena corrida en el FIL, y tu hija ocupa consejería? Gracias a las consejeras que tenemos este apoyo, podemos sacar un trabajo adelante porque tenemos la confianza en ellas de que están en buenas manos.
Now I would like to ask you, what would you do if your kid needs help, but you have to spend 65 hours in the fields working? For us, it's a relief to know that counselors are there to help them when they need their services.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias. Espero el apoyo de ustedes, de que tomemos buenas decisiones por un futuro mejor de todos nosotros. Por favor.
Gracias.
Thank you, and I trust that you'll make the decisions that will support every one of us.
Dr. Navarro, can we have the next 10, please?
There's a few people that didn't come up. Should I call them again? Marisol Rodriguez, if you already spoke, forgive me. Maria Campos, that was Campos. Rachel Hitchcock, and Katie Crockett. Then we have Jessica Zovar, Kristen Hurley, Anjali Diaz, Chris Sumaran, Eileen Shea, Lindsay Kent, and Shalri George.
Thank you. If your name was called, go ahead and come up and speak.
Hi there, my name is Jessica Zovar. I am proud to be a Wildcat. I am a mental health clinician at Watsonville High School. My heart is really with the kids tonight. As a school-based clinician, I am a consistent presence in their daily world. On any given day, I have interactions that range from a quick hallway hello, a fist bump, to an on-the-fly check-in, to a focused session during addressing deeper concerns. I give classroom presentations. Actually, our staff of 3 mental health clinicians met with every single student on campus to give a class presentation after the incident. This would not be possible if we were not on campus. These informal, human, real-time interactions are where therapeutic moments happen, and it's because I am embedded in the school community. Students, teachers, staff, and administrators know where to find me because I live in their world. That access is what makes school-based mental health care so impactful, and it cannot be replicated by an outside provider. Before my role here, I spent 15 years as a mental health professional in our county at Salud para la Gente in private practice serving Medi-Cal clients, and as a teen and parent educator. I believe deeply in access to care, but access only matters when it's reachable. And for most teens, that means right in their second home, their school. This is what makes school-based mental health looks like. It's connection, it's visibility, and community care. We're facing a crisis of loneliness, and our youth deserve to be seen, to be known, and to feel that their school cares and provide access to that care. I also want to take a moment to just talk about the billing issues that have been presented here. So when I was first hired 2 years ago, we said that we were unsure if we could bill for our services. That is still the case. Yes, and that can be remedied by looking at...
That's your time.
Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Shal Ray. This is my beautiful son, Elijah. Elijah is severely disabled and has been part of Pajaro Valley for 5 years. During that time, we've seen how dedicated his teachers, therapists, and aides are. That would be the positive thing I say about the schools. But we've also seen how the system fails to meet the most basic needs of students like my son. Students with disabilities who depend on you guys to make good on promises that you already written into their IEPs. When I heard that the district is planning to make further cuts, including cuts to special education, I was stunned. It's beyond comprehension. There are already not enough funds for special education as it is. My son Elijah has not received a single speech therapy session in over a year. My son does not speak. You can imagine how essential his voice is. The service is for him. He is also legally blind, and while he is supposed to receive vision therapy, it has only been provided virtually because the district has not hired anyone to meet with him in person. How can a child who is legally blind and nonverbal be expected to progress through a screen? Elijah's classroom is overcrowded. The class size is far too large for students with complex needs, and often it becomes so loud and chaotic that Elijah has to leave the room just to regulate. That means he misses out on learning. He deserves better. They deserve better. We are grateful for his one-on-one aide, Sarah. She's critical to his, this person is giving me one
Lindsay
more.
Kent, I'm going to let Shalray finish and use my time.
I'm almost done. We are grateful for his aid. Sorry, now let's press please. When his, however, last year, while his aide and teacher were on lunch, Elijah was left in a room with other aides who were responsible for other students. This is what's expected of the aides. When his aide returned, she found Elijah covered in blood after he had self-harmed. This happened because staff are already stretched impossibly thin. If you make further cuts, if you reduce support staff, you are putting students like my son in danger. And while you talk about saving money, we parents know when the district gives raises all across the board. That tells me there is money, just not for the children who need it most. You cannot continue to underfund and neglect special education while rewarding administrative salaries. That's not saving money, that's shifting priorities away from the most vulnerable students in this district. Please understand, my family and many other families will not stay silent. We have started consulting with legal counsel because Elijah's IEP has been out of compliance for quite some time. If things do not change, the district will face lawsuits, and that will be far more expensive than providing the services our children are already legally entitled to receive. The special needs parent community here is small, but we are strong and we are fierce, and we will stand together to make sure our children are not left behind. Thank you.
I just want to also state that we are not going to allow any further people sharing minutes. Every speaker will have their 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Eileen Shea, I'm an adaptive physical education specialist. The district often cites FCMAT's industry standards as justification for reducing special education staff, but those benchmarks are not mandates. They are generalized fiscal guidelines. They don't reflect the unique realities, demographics, or student needs of PVUSD. Our students are not averages on a spreadsheet. They deserve staffing levels that meet their actual needs, not numbers pulled from a statewide ratio that assumes every district looks the same. Following industry standards as gospel without local context risks violating IEPs, overburdening staff, and denying students the individualized support they are legally and ethically entitled to. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Christopher Zumran. I've been a RISE teacher in the district for 5 years. I'd just like to say one of my mentors and closest friends is a BT, a behavior tech, and I've worked with many paraprofessionals and many IAs, and they save lives. Hands down, they save lives. The RISE program is at times very, very challenging, and most of our students, their families depend on us. It's a lifeline. As you've heard from a lot of people, they have nowhere else to go. At times, families are frustrated and they're in despair, and it's not just the teachers that are working with them. My family served PVUSD for a long time. My uncle and my aunts and my father and my mother all work for the district and retired now, but you know, this community is telling you something. And these people here want to see change, and they want to see change for good, but eliminating positions where families depend on them and eliminating positions to the most vulnerable people is not the answer. And, you know, I can attest that these people work hard. They're the hardest working people. I buy my BTs coffee and I try to support them as much as I can because I know they work hard. They have to step in when the jobs are tough. And at times we roll through BTs because it's a challenging position. So you have people that have big hearts and they're committed to students and they're committed to this district and this community. So please take that into consideration.
Hello, good evening. I am here to address a decision. I'm here to address a proposed decision to cut 10 healthcare assistant positions. This new scheme is a surprise considering the challenges that we face in daily life supporting our students. In previous years, my site has had 2 healthcare assistants and a nurse. I am currently overseeing 2,300 students along with my nurse. On a regular basis, our team responds to serious incidents, including stabbings, fights, seizures, and numerous mental health crises, in addition to managing ongoing medical conditions. Healthcare assistants are the first ones to respond to these emergencies on our campuses, ensuring that immediate care is provided when every second counts. For example, during the recent incident at Watsonville High, I, the healthcare assistant, was the first person on site providing aid to the victims. Despite my immediate action in a critical moment, there has been no recognition of the role that healthcare assistants play in these emergencies. Beyond emergency response, healthcare assistants play a vital role in coordinating students' medical needs with teachers and staff to ensure that the appropriate accommodations and restrictions are in place, allowing every student to thrive in a safe and supporting learning environment. Reducing dispositions or spreading staff across multiple sites will severely compromise our ability to meet the health needs of our students and maintain a safe learning environment. I strongly urge the board to reconsider this decision. Thank you for your time.
Please call the next 10.
Leah Sugarman, Aaron Johnson, Shannon McCord, Christina Smolik, Josephine Aranchi, and Taja Kelly. That's a combined one. Or there's 2 cards. Susanna Langstaff and Dylan Tabler.
Hi, my name is Leah Sugarman Rodriguez. I'm here to read the statement for Lindsay Kent because she gave her time to the parent who had more to say. I work in every autism-specific and extensive support needs classroom in the district. While I understand we are in a financial crisis, I want to explain to you why special education is not the place to make cuts. Declining enrollment is real. However, it does not exist in special education. These cuts disproportionately affect kids with disabilities. We are a single district SELPA, meaning we serve our students with the most significant needs in our district, while the districts we were compared to in the FCMAT report send those students out of the district to county-run programs. Comparing us to these districts is like comparing apples to oranges. We serve students with more significant needs, meaning we need more IAs, BTs, behaviorists, and special education teachers compared to other districts. The FCMAT data is not valid to justify staff reductions based on other districts' ratios. As someone who is in these classes daily, I can tell you we need more support, not less. The same report recommended smaller class sizes and improved teacher-to-student ratios in special education, yet those recommendations have been ignored. This district is selectively using data from a report that does not accurately represent our students or programs. Cutting mental health.
Hi, my name is Erin. I am standing here as a humble learner. I've started attending meetings since I think just April of this year. So I'm learning. I have a lot of questions, and I just more want to state what I've observed. And thank you for the presentation. I'm sorry, I don't know your names, but I feel like it was pretty clear, someone who doesn't know a lot coming in, that I think a lot of the trouble is an expiration of COVID funds and then also declining enrollment. So those are things that are pretty obvious. The other thing that I observe is that there's a room full of really passionate people that love their kids and the people they serve. And I'm super encouraged by that because I'm not a parent, but if I was, I would want people like you teaching my kids. So that really care. And then the other thing I see is a board of trustees that is, I'm sure, not excited at all about the presentation that was given. And I'm sure not one of you is excited about having to make tough decisions that impact real people in this room. So all of that said, I just want to offer two recommendations about hopefully solutions. And one is, I think, maybe some kind of budget meeting for the community to be able to come and ask questions and get their answers.
Thank you.
Would be helpful. And then also just maybe a grant working group that could find sources outside of the system.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Shannon McCord. And while I do understand the district is facing significant fiscal challenges, my goal is to assure that the solutions are not placed disproportionately on the backs of students with IEPs as they are with the current recommendations. There was a question asked Friday of Kit if PVUSD was compared to only other single district SELPAs in the FCMAT report. He couldn't answer that, so I'm here to say no. I also want to say that in tonight's presentation that Kit and Gerardo presented, comparing us, the presentation was up here, comparing costs and per pupil funding, did also not compare PVUSD to a single district SELPAs. There was one included, Natomas, but Natomas has 10% Latino students, so I wouldn't call that very comparable. This is significant because PVUSD will naturally have the need for different supports than a multi-district SELPA since we serve all of our students from birth to age 22. The district is recommending cuts in support services to students in special education based on the FCMAT report, but not reduced class sizes, which was also recommended. There was a question regarding declining enrollment in special education that also Kit wasn't able to answer, and I'm here to say that we have had zero decrease in students with IEPs in the last 5 years, actually a total of 4 students. According to the FCMAT report, the number of students qualifying for an IEP under autism.
Where are you? I wish you would let me give my minute to her because it's really uncomfortable for me to be up here speaking, but I'm going to do it because I can't give my minute to her. Thank you. Where am I? According to the FCMAT report, the number of students qualifying for an IEP under autism increased 75.5%, which is in alignment with the state and nation. The increase in autism rates means we need to provide more services from BCBA and behavior technicians to keep students safe, and I mean safe. I have assaults happening every day to students. I have the data to show you the assault, and I guarantee if they were happening in Aptos, we would have the support there immediately because the parents in Aptos, I've been there, they will pull their children until the support arrives. I've been called to Aptos twice for that in last year. Right now, we're sending home children. They're not accessing their education because we don't have the staff for them, and that is illegal. We also need the structure of a functioning special service leadership team to support the needs of our increasing population. I'd like to go back to the FCMAT because it only recommended, I think, reducing our admin and SELPA by 2, but we reduced it by 5. So I think that's something that should be clarified, Kit, when you go through that. Finally, I've heard our district cabinet suggest that we are over-identifying students for special education. Kit, you told me that, and it was hard for me to swallow because we are under-identifying. The assessments are waiting and waiting for us. Did I use my minute too?
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Josephine Ramelli. I'm a board-certified behavior analyst. I've been with the district for 3.5 years. I'm here tonight to express concern about the recommendation to eliminate 2 behaviorist positions. Removing these positions will directly impact the safety and success of our students and staff. The recommendation is based on hire dates of 2019 and 2021 that doesn't reflect the full picture. Over the past few years, the district has lost 3 behaviorists, and our positions filled those critical gaps. They are not funded by COVID reliefs. They replaced essential roles that have long supported our programs. With ESN classroom sizes projected to increase and support staff reduced, behavioral needs will rise. Without enough BCBAs, staff will not have the guidance they need to safely implement behavioral intervention plans or use safety care strategies, which will likely increase the risks. If these positions are cut, the district will likely need to hire contract BCBAs unfamiliar with our staff and systems at higher cost and with less effectiveness. I respectfully ask the board to reconsider these cuts and please preserve the behaviorist positions that protect our students, support staff, and maintain safe, effective learning environments. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. My name is Taja Kelly. I am a board certified behavior analyst. I work in many different schools. SPED numbers are not decreasing. Our need not only remains, but it grows. The rate of autism in California is now 1 in 19. I have been working in this district as a contract employee, followed by district employee, for a combined 16 years. I have never seen such large class sizes in special ed or the frequency of intense behaviors. FCMAT recommends lower ratios and smaller class sizes. Will you be hiring more teachers because our students are still here? We are a single district SELPA. We serve our most challenging students rather than sending them to county. Our ratios will look different compared to most districts. Please take the time to get to know us. Find out about our challenges and achievements before you upend our work. If we cut the people on the ground who are not only keeping our children safe, but fulfilling legal IEP obligations, we will create much more expensive issues. Thank you, Kit, for agreeing to come visit our classrooms next Tuesday. Thank you. I invite every other person on that side of the line to follow suit and schedule time with us. Thank you.
My name is Susanna Langstaff. I teach at Aptos Junior High School. I'm an education specialist. I teach an STC class and I work with resource students. I rely on the collaboration and work of the behavior technicians within our program. I rely on the instructional aides, their relationships with the students, their deep knowledge, the trust that the families have in these individuals make my job possible, right, to fulfill the IEPs. And the behaviorists that I work with, I learn so much. They make me a better teacher. They make me better for you as a district, for you as trustees. So please do not cut the individuals who work with our students, who make their futures possible. Thank you.
Hello. First time caller, long time listener. I wanted to finish a thought my friend had real quick, okay? So over-identification, we currently have 15.61% of students in PVUSD with IEPs. This is 1% higher than the county average. We are also serving 64% English learners, 82% of students are in poverty, 10% migrant students, and 8% students without permanent housing. We have a wonderfully diverse population, which also impacts the needs of our students. Dang it. There you go. I'm a RISE teacher. Mr. Z's here. Jessica Showalter couldn't be here. We're a tier 3, what do they call us now, a therapeutic classroom? It's supposed to be therapeutic. Therapeutic intervention classroom. I work with 3 BTs. They should be here. Nick, Jessica, Israel, my BCBA, Chris Thomas. I don't see this guy. This guy's supposed to help me run this program. He's off at the other RISE place. He's off, he has clients. He has to run, like, we're spread so ridiculously thin right now. Do you guys know what SELPA does? I'm genuinely asking, because it seems like this couldn't be more targeted at special needs students and at SELPA. It feels like it's just all on them, and that sucks. It's not fair. It's gonna get dangerous, okay? You think it's expensive having us work? It's more expensive to be sued into oblivion. And I don't want that. I've lived here my whole life. I love it. I wanna keep working here. Don't do this.
Next up, we have Monica Nolan, Wendy San Juan, Vero Fernandez, Brandon Denise, Chris Webb, Julianne Bellin, Carolyn West, and Katrina Jostin.
Good evening. I'm Monica Nowlin. I am one of the academic counselors that works at Renaissance High. I'm the only one actually that works at Renaissance High and at New School, but I am a fellow counselor in the room. I am actually also directly impacted by this 15 proposal cut. And so it's a little personal feeling, not like from you guys, but just it's a lot on my thought process right now. I wanted to indicate some things that were said in the presentation, which bless your hearts, Kit and Gerardo, you're brand new and you're having to present stuff from a long time ago, which is honestly very insulting to them and their intelligence. But I'm hoping that as a board, though I haven't even been able to have Misty come onto the campus because the superintendent's office continues to block that from happening, which is completely crazy. I'm hoping that you can understand that the programs for counseling are not something you can outsource. It's been said a lot of times tonight, but I'm reiterating it because though we have contracts with PVPSA, Encompass, SUDS programs, things like that, they don't work for our students. I think a mental health clinician just said it, like, they know where we are. We're weaved into their day. They can stop by for just 1 second to say one thing and have us all and be able to have interaction with us. So when the state standards are right-sized or whatever, which is 500 to 1, that's the state standard, that doesn't work for kids. You all have kids in this district too, most of you.
Thank you.
So consider that when you want your kid to see a counselor.
Good evening. My name is Wendy San Juan, and I am a proud and respected school counselor in this district. I come before you deeply disappointed in our district leadership. The ongoing lack of empathy, respect, communication, and transparency has created the chaos we face today. Last Thursday at 3 p.m., some, but not all, school counselors were called to an optional meeting about layoffs. Let's be clear. There is nothing optional about laying off people. Every counselor should have been invited and informed about the proposal that could eliminate 40% of our department. 40. We rearranged our schedules and even did what HR couldn't do, which was create a Google Calendar link to make this more accessible to everyone, instead of going through 100 emails we usually get a day. We were told that HR wants to support us in finding other jobs, but many of us have already had opportunities to leave, and guess what? We have stayed. We stayed because we value our students, we value our families, and we value the community that is of Watsonville. We stay because we believe in the work that we do for our students and our families. Counselors have written curriculum, led programs, and provided critical support, often not supported by this district. So I ask, why would we cut an essential service that directly impacts students' well-being and success? Why not examine insufficiencies at the top? Because you all are not communicating with each other.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Veronica Fernandez, and I'm a school counselor at Cesar Chavez Middle School. My comment today goes back to what you said about school site admin dedicated 2 full days, 2 full training days to support effective school solutions, an outside counseling agency. That is an insult to us PVUSD counselors. On Friday, October 31st, there was an all-day, all-counselor training that allocated 2 hours of collaboration time from 1:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. between counselors and admin. All site admin opted out of that collaboration as they assumed it was an optional training. It wasn't until counselors questioned why the admin opted out and suggested admin presence at our counselor coordinator, that our counselor coordinator messaged the admin. That's when they showed up around 2:30 p.m., and that was about a handful of admin. This shows a lack of support and a lack of dedication to PVUSD counselors. It becomes very clear that PVUSD leadership wants to support supplanting services that are being contracted from outside agencies that can only serve 8 to 10 student caseloads. PVUSD counselors value the training. We have been lacking professional development for over a year, We finally get hatching results here to consult and work with us, and we are grateful for that. But in order to be successful, we need to collaborate with our admin.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Julianne. Firstly, I want to thank my fellow aunties, Rose at home, Maria, thank you. It's a group effort. Thank you, Joy, for fighting for that extra 30 seconds for us. And our group wants to ask, what are the numbers on the towers? And personally, I'm curious, what's your plan? What do you envision when even more kids are stuffed into even more overcrowded classrooms, underserved by counselors and nurses, but top admin all get raises? Are the salaries for top admin tied to a percentage of a teacher's salary or to the lowest paid staff member? So I know that the trustees only get $400 a month, but like the rest of you, maybe you're more trained, but can you tell me that you're 350% more important than any of your fellow employees? Are you 235% more deserving of dignity and small luxuries? I don't really care what the average is across 40 million people. I care about local costs of living and local needs.
That is what's up. So that slide you guys had on class size data, that was 2 years old. But we're the ones who can't read a budget from some of our trustees. I hope you did not give whoever put that together a raise, but you probably did. There is no way we can proceed with a vote on layoffs at the December board meeting when that board meeting will be the first time the public gets a chance to review the first interim budget. All of these arguments that are being presented by the district tonight are not grounded in authentic, verifiable data, and we need to have time to review the updated budget before rushing to any hasty decisions. Here are some facts for you. Since last year, we have eliminated 48.65 teaching positions, including counseling and nurses. Our spending on unrestricted certificated salaries is down just a hair under $3 million. We eliminated $5.3 million in spending as per the Sustainable Budget Team's recommendation. We reassigned approximately 20 teachers who were either at Renaissance, New School, or teachers on special assignment. And as we were working through that, the district kept gaslighting me the entire time. Oh, this is to save off future layoffs. Well, I don't see that here. The district has a motto this year, be kind. How about be honest? This plea to be kind is nothing more than a tool to quash dissent and virtue signaling and moral posturing. How about the district administrators give their raises back? We can eliminate some of the following positions: the coordinator of child welfare and attendance, the director of professional development, the coordinator of early literacy. Seriously, what good is a coordinator of early literacy going to do when we're getting rid of our reading intervention teachers? What I've noticed about this current administration is if the work requires collaboration, they can't be bothered to get to the table and work with us.
Brandon, with
are you guys going to go into a...
Yes, if that's what we have to do.
In all due...
Gracias para los padres de hablar aquí esta noche. One thing I also, when I saw the note 8.1, part of me was like, oh, are they cutting it because they know these cuts would directly make the test scores probably worse? And that'd be kind of awkward, like raises for admin at a time you're doing cuts. You just want to less awkward things maybe. I also wanted to bring up that over in North Korea, over the hill, they do that thing where we cut staff and then do the outside agency hire. And what that looks like is the teacher has a student who has some kind of crisis. There's no support. They all go out to the hall. So leave the kid unsupervised. And then that kid like laid out in the hall. Their version of PVPSA, kind of never showed up. I'm telling you, you don't want to do that. For parents, you don't want that. We can do better. We do better normally. Let's not choose to do worse. Also, where are all the revenue generating ideas from the Sustainable Budget Team? I actually never want to hear Sustainable Budget Team brought up here unless you're going to speak to those ideas. Super dishonest. Also, I'm still waiting on the same prereqs. How much did we spend on lawyers for the PN days and fighting us? And then also, how much are we spending on lawyers now to be here in the room at all these meetings and to have them at the negotiating table? And there, I feel like you could save money by just hire a PVFT person, because if you look at that meeting, we clearly brought the heat more, right? We are more prepared. It's better value for your money. Hire a teacher, not a lawyer. Thank you.
Hi, Carolyn again. We're finding all these problems in this. I mean, you've admitted it yourself. I mean, even with the student per teacher comparison, a lot of these districts aren't the same as ours. They're just not. I mean, we came from the same district, Dr. Contreras, and it's not the same. This is not the same. I've been here for 8 years. So it's apples and oranges. But what I wanted to say is I have 4 wonderful health assistants. My job would be impossible without them. As I need to follow the laws of physics, there's no way I can be in 5 places at one time because I also have the Diamond Tech. On average, 4 of my schools, 2 middle, 2 elementary, see 25 to 30 students per day. At 25 visits per 180 student attendance days, this comes to, that's a horrible drum roll, 4,500 office visits in a school year. Who exactly is going to do that? Who is going to cover that? I can't cover it. The front office staff can't cover it. A lot of this is going to fall on the office managers. And who is exactly supposed to be seeing these kids? We have a higher number of kids with I've said this before, diabetes and seizures, behavior issues, ADHD, requiring medications at school or otherwise, asthma. It's all exploding. I've been doing this for 17 years, and you guys, you got to trust me with this. Really, trust me. This is a really big deal. And also, please don't cut the BTs either because it's dangerous. The numbers that you're looking at are dangerous. I've provided first aid to staff. It is dangerous.
Hi. Woo, hi. My name's Katrina Jostin. I'm a school nurse, and I'm here actually to speak as a mother. I am here to talk about my daughter, who's 9 years old and attends a special day class at Bradley. She is a brain cancer survivor with complex medical needs. All parents want their kids to feel safe at school. I feel safe having Emma at Bradley in part because of Rocio, the healthcare assistant. She is medically trained and knows how to administer Emma's emergency medication for seizures. She notifies us when Emma is hurt, sick, or more tired than usual. I will no longer feel safe. I have 5 healthcare assistants at my 5 sites who are equally as steadfast. They make my job manageable as record keepers, caretakers, and first responders when I'm not available. They are the first contact for our kids with medical needs. They keep our kids safe. Emma also has 4 instructional assistants in her class. These wonderful humans work closely with her to assist her with toileting, practicing getting dressed, feeding herself, participating in activities, and overall achieving the goals that as her mother I value so much. Without all of them, Emma would most definitely face setbacks. My son Henry has autism. Before he transferred out of the district, he had a one-to-one behavioral tech to keep himself, staff, and other students safe at school. We waited for a one-to-one for several months. Reducing the number would make them wait even longer for other kids.
Next up, we have Rocio Fuentes, Roddy Kirkman, Bobby Pels, Belinda Rubacava, Stacy Anderson, Rochelle Manning, Cita Burgess.
I want to thank everybody for sticking to the 1 minute and 30 seconds. And I want to remind the next few people, please honor the time of those that are still here, not just us, to stick to that 1 minute and 30 seconds that I advocated for. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Rocio Fuentes. I'm an alumni parent and a staff member who has dedicated almost 12 years to this district. With declining enrollment, I can understand the need for reductions, and I do not claim to know the correct way to go about it. However, I am here to speak about what I do know and focus on every single day, and that is truancy and attendance. COVID funds ended, but the impact has not. Nationwide, chronic absenteeism has been on the rise since the pandemic, with the majority of underlying causes being tied directly to mental health. Evidence has shown time and time again that tiered interventions improve attendance. So how do we sustain those interventions when we are eliminating the very staff that do much of this work at the site level? How can students access the additional, albeit innovative, programs we funded if they are not present?
How will we increase ADA? And how will we meet 98%? And who steps in now that students' needs have only intensified? Nothing against agencies, but we know their turnover tends to be high. We've seen students regress when relationships are disrupted. We've seen cases where agency goals don't align with the goals of the school. How will outsourcing meet the needs of our most vulnerable students and allow them to reach real success in the classroom? And as a parent of a child who has required direct support from BTs, BCBAs, and mental health clinicians, some of whom are in this room, I can't imagine he would have progressed as much as he has without their time and dedication, and he is just one of thousands. I'm not a financial expert. I know there are no easy answers, but look at the impact and look at the cost.
Good evening. My name is Belinda Rubalcaba, and I'm one of the ERMS, Educationally Related Mental Health Service clinicians in the district. I have been here for over 10 years working with BTs, working with special ed teachers, working with healthcare providers, working with families that have students on IEPs and have legally required services. And I have seen, within the 10 years that I've been here, I've seen just special education staff decline. And I have seen how that affects our students. I have been called to campus to supervise a student. Again, that student was one of my students that I work with as a mental health clinician, but a support person wasn't there to supervise them, so I was there. That's a safety issue. Did I mind doing it? No, because I'm part of the school district. Because I work collaboratively with every single one of these people sitting back here. Try having an outside agency do that. Find outside agency counselors that have 10 years of experience. I understand the IEP process. I can explain that IEP process to my families. I'm bilingual. A lot of my families only speak Spanish. So believe me, the experience that we have and we bring, you cannot get from an outside agency. The relationships that we build, you cannot get from an outside agency. We get to stick with our students from 7th grade to they graduate high school. Outside agencies do not do that.
Thank you.
Good evening, Bobby Pell, Watsonville High School. In just the first few months of this school year, we've already endured the unthinkable. We lost a former student to suicide, and we witnessed an attempted murder on campus. So given what our students are facing, I cannot understand how this district, in good conscience, could consider cutting any adult from our schools, let alone mental health clinicians and behavior technicians. These are the very people who support student mental health and safety. And I was at the Watsonville High listening session. That was something I specifically remember the community asking for. When you eliminate a clinician or a behavior tech or any other adult trained to work with children, you aren't saving money. You are increasing the likelihood that the next crisis happens without anyone there who is trained to intervene. That is not fiscal responsibility. That's a moral failure. I'm so tired of hearing that these positions were funded with one-time COVID money. COVID changed the world. It should change the way we run our schools too. And I'm tired of hearing that we have no choice. Where was the real effort to create choices? There's always a better way, but only when you're willing to look for it. It's only November. We still have an entire school year to go. I challenge this board to direct district leadership to find a better way to support our students and stop putting them at greater risk. Our kids deserve courage, not convenience. Thank you.
Good evening, Roddy Crickman again. I just want to point out to the public that the slide on the screen shares that the December 11th board meeting, that is actually December 10th for all of you who intend to come back and talk about this item.
It is actually the 11th, so that Trustee Medina can attend.
Oh, when was that posted?
When we voted on it back when he announced that he was going to have to miss some meetings.
Well, I appreciate
and if you could suspend her
to attend.
Suspend her time for a little bit because I interrupted.
Thank you. I do want to say that although we're talking about the next steps and that there is an actual issue with declining enrollment, and I know how that affects the budget, The problem I'm seeing here is the slide saying continue to work with our labor partners. We have not been able to work with the district. As has been mentioned, we have not had a meeting on the calendar with Dr. Contreras since early September. I don't think as an educational institution, you know what the words collaboration and transparency mean, and that's a problem. I also believe you need to change your listening sessions to hearing sessions, because you may be hearing what people are saying, but it's clear you're not listening to the folks in the room. The budget is a reflection of your priorities. What you have presented this evening shows a complete lack of priority to the most essential workers, the people who are facing the students. It is frankly absolutely disrespectful, and I'm utterly disgusted with the agenda setting committee who could put on this same agenda an introduction of a new administrative position with an increase in the salary. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
Hi, I'm Stacy Anderson. Many of you know me. I have 2 daughters with autism in the district, and many of you have all supported her and love them just as I do. I understand that the positions for reduction are those hired during COVID era. Sorry. However, our sites are currently short-staffed across the district, leaving an insufficient coverage for lunch breaks and regular breaks. Reducing staff further could compromise the safety led to unsafe practices, especially of our most vulnerable students. When you're making your decisions, please be mindful. Our children matter. They are the future Stephen Hawking's, Albert Einstein's. Please do not stunt their growth. Trustee Navarro, thank you for responding to my email. You said we are in uncertain times and the unions keep pointing out our reserves, but if it wasn't for COVID, we would have no reserves. I agree, these are uncertain times. That said, I'm concerned about the district's spending practices. We continue to hire outside consultants to identify these areas of improvement. How much money has the district spent on outside consultants over the past few years? If we trim costs, we should focus on these expenditures rather than cutting staff who directly support our students. Another opinion would be implement a temporary freeze on administrative raises.
Good evening, board. My name is Rochelle Manning, and my daughter attends Duncan Holbert School here in Watsonville. I'm here tonight because I'm deeply concerned and heartbroken to hear about the proposed cuts to special education, including behavioral therapists, OTs, teachers, and instructional aides. Before my daughter started at Duncan Holbert, she was completely nonverbal and easily overwhelmed in group settings. As a parent, this was very painful to see her struggle with communication and to connect with others. But thanks to the incredible teachers, aides, and therapists at Duncan Holbert, everything changed. This is her second year at the program, and she's thriving. She's now able to communicate a lot of her needs and feels comfortable in group settings. The process she's made is nothing short but amazing. It's transformed her confidence, her ability to learn, and her joy in being part of the classroom. It's heartbreaking to think that this process could come to a complete stop if these cuts move forward. The staff who work in special education are not just employees, they're lifelines for our children. They create safe, supportive environments that our kids need to learn and grow. Preschool is a crucial time in our children's development. This is when the foundation is laid.
Okay, I'm pretty tall. Hello, board, Dr. Contreras. My name is Sita Burgess, and I'm a school nurse. I work at Aptos High School. Radcliffe Elementary, Lakeview Middle. I also have some virtual students and some satellite sites. We did lose 3 nurses since last year, which some of you might be aware. We're approaching 2,000 or more students, and we are responsible for training our staff as well as our clerks, our IAs on specialized procedures. We have very complex needs, medical needs amongst special ed and some in general education. We have vagus nerve stimulators, seizures, a lot of overdoses. I've had to call 911 twice already this year. So when the nurse is at one site and you're talking about reducing the clerks, it's going to go to the office manager who's not trained to really provide a lot of emergency care, and that's very scary. I just got a phone call the other day while I was trying to do an IEP assessment. My office manager at an off-site is running across campus saying someone's having a seizure, a student's having a seizure. So I have her put me on FaceTime and I'm triaging. And this is what it looks like while I'm also managing 3 other things where I am on at my present location. It would be great if we could show you guys what we do, and if you would like to come and see. Our health office is very, very busy. When the nurses are there, we're not able to get any IEP assessments done because it has to be private, and we have to have a quiet place for hearing. So there's just a lot to educate you guys about, and we really hope that you protect our students.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Evangelina Morales, Elvira Cuevas, Alejandro Ferreira, sorry, I'm massacring that, Maria Eastman, Jillian Spangler, Eli Davies, Laura Azzaro, and Cameron Cox.
Thank you. Please come forward if your name was called.
Can I start? Yeah. Good evening. My name is Maria Eastman. I'm here as a parent and a community member. My family volunteers every week in our son's 2nd grade classroom, and we chaperone every field trip. So I can tell you firsthand, the emotional, behavioral, and academic needs in classrooms right now are intense. And truly, bless these teachers and staff. The grit, patience, and heart they show every day is extraordinary. But even extraordinary people have limits, and that's why these cuts are dangerous. We're talking about removing more than 160 people who directly support children. These are not luxury positions. These are adults who de-escalate crises, who stabilize classrooms, who protect kids' mental health, who make learning possible. And while I can appreciate the comparison of state averages, our cost of living is not average, and neither are our students' needs. What it takes to serve students here is not comparable to districts with lower housing costs, lower labor costs, and different demographics. Yes, some positions came from COVID funding, but our kids are not living in pre-COVID world. Their needs have grown, their challenges have grown. Cutting support now moves us backwards. Please protect our teachers, protect our counselors, and more importantly, protect our kids. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Cameron Cox, and I am one of the SDC teachers in the autism programs. I have absolutely loved what I've been doing, and I'm very proud to be a special education teacher. But the cuts that are being discussed are really going to be very tough on teachers. And I want to tell you that because there is one particular page in the IEP, which I don't know if y'all have ever read an IEP, but those are very long and there's a lot of paperwork in them. But if you read it, look at this one page in particular. It is the offer of free and appropriate public education and their educational setting. And on this page, it has the percentage of time that students are spent in a general education setting versus their special education classroom. And this page is the foundation for where inclusion is based on. And if PVUSD wants to be an inclusive district, then please do not cut the people that make inclusion happen for these students. I work with a lot of behavior technicians, and those behavior technicians are working in those gen ed classrooms as well to support those students that are pushing in to gen ed. They are not only supporting the students, they are also supporting the teachers and informing them of their accommodations so they are able to support them in an effective way. Those students are not just being tossed into general education classrooms without having the proper support. We should make sure that they are being supported. Thank you.
Eli Davies, they, them pronouns, Area 7. Carol, to speak to your very original point, I think the Aptos High School theater is lovely. I also want to respect all these amazing folks who make this district run. They make the students safe, and their feedback is the most important to hear. Just to build on we are no longer in a pre-COVID world. As someone who has kept up a bit with the science, we're seeing a lot more disabilities and chronic illness coming through with issues such as long COVID. This can also deal with kids not being able to come to school. So we're living in a completely different timeline situation than one might expect before 2020. That said, I love the calls for more creativity in how to meet this moment. I know that at some point Gabriel Medina had also thrown up some ideas for trying to get some more funding in here. I think talking to the growers that have sickened and disabled our local population to see about some kind of reparations is also very worth considering. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Gillian Spangler. I am a BT behavior technician at H.A. Hyde. I had these prepared statements I was going to make, but I will instead share what happened today. Two BTs were at break at the same time. It's usually not scheduled like that, but one BT was out for the day. So we need to evacuate the classroom because the student is becoming violent. We have two black padded walls to protect us. His one-to-one BT has someone in helping her. We need to evacuate all other 12 students, and there are 2 adults to 12 students out on a playground. A student whose one-to-one BT was on break took the book of a student who loves his book, he carries it everywhere, and ran. So now there is 1 adult, 11 kids on the playground, and me running around campus trying to get this one student to give the book back. The little boy's sister actually came out to help. We're at a position in this district where a sibling is coming to help because there is not enough people as it stands today. Don't you dare take staff away from these children. They are our most important asset, and they have more needs than anyone here. And to just take us away from them is outrageous, and you need to rethink your plans.
Good evening, trustees. I'm Laura Azaro, and I'm an elementary school teacher and reading intervention teacher at H.A. Hyde. Been with the district for 30 years. I have to honestly say this is pretty bad how we've gotten to this point. And I'm not blaming anybody or pointing fingers. But what I think we really need to do is we need more access to you besides this forum. This is a good venting place, which is the whole point, but then we need a next step. Dr. Contreras, we need you to meet with our labor. You're the first superintendent that hasn't done that on a regular basis, and I can't imagine how busy you must be. Olivia Flores, all of you trustees are representing certain schools. Can you please start being more accessible? I don't know if you're working 12-hour days, 12-hour, I don't know. All I know is that it feels like you're out there and we're all over here, and you're hearing our stories, but when you're living them, it's very different. And I went to the listening session at Watsonville High last week, and I really appreciated it. You felt very accessible, but the agenda, of course, the questions were very structured. I still felt like I was able to say what I wanted to say, but those listening sessions about future goals feel very deflated right now. So just try to make yourself more accessible, and we need a forum for sharing ideas, with how we can not.
Thank you. That's your time.
Get all these people off.
Hi, my name is Tara McCormick. I'm an occupational therapist in this school district. I'm taking time from Elvira, who had to leave. So I wanted to point, so I don't have anything prepared. I want to point out that some of the recommendations for mild, moderate classrooms of 15 students, 1 to 2 instructional assistants. I don't know if you've ever been into an SDC classroom. That's a ridiculous number. Very, very underestimated of what we need. For extensive needs, that's 12 students. Also 1 to 2 IAs. I can tell you, I've been in classrooms with 5 instructional assistants and 12 students, and it's still not enough. They do fantastic work, our instructional assistants, our BTs. A lot of the accommodations, recommendations, implementations that we give to serve these students with their free and appropriate public education, those things cannot be implemented or done with these ratios that are being recommended. The teachers are absolutely incredible, but they cannot do that without the aids of the BTs and the IAs. And every one of these people that are potentially being cut are extremely student-centered positions that we absolutely need. Thank you.
Christina Carter, Delilah Macedo, Brian Lacuna, Sergio Hernandez, Justine Black, Marilyn Garrett.
Hi, board. My name is Justine Black. I'm speaking on behalf of my daughter and all the special needs parents with concerns about the future of our kids' education. I'll mainly speak about the concerns I have at my daughter's school, Duncan Holbert, which has blossomed my child since she has started. The teachers put their whole hearts into our kids, and it shows. One of my main concerns in coming today are teacher aides cuts, classroom helper cuts, OTs, speech therapists, occupational therapists, behavioral therapists. 50 positions in our special needs programs will be cut. 50. That's extremely shocking. And then expecting our special needs, or our intensive support needs teachers, because it seems trying to change the title, will justify placing 1 teacher and maybe 2 aides per special needs, with the majority of the kids being autistic and disabled in a class of 12 to 15 will resolve the issue, right? That is unethical and unsafe, and has me wondering how you know what our kids actually need when you silence the teachers and ignore their concerns, constantly never caring to know what assistance they need to thrive. Our children's classes getting reduced to 1 teacher and maybe 2 aides when there are kids who have wheelchairs and need extra assistance and care just to get them into the classrooms. And then you want the teachers to function at one of the highest levels with the children that need the most help. The rest of the day, when it's clear from the start they need more physical assistance just to get them in the classroom. And it is insane. How do you know the safety of our children? How do you know they're being taken care of? They need their diapers changed. They need plenty of assistance. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Delilah Macedo. I'm a parent to a student in an autism SDC. I was appalled at the number of special education positions being recommended for reductions. The recommendations of 2 assistants per class is absurd. Have you ever spent time in a special education class? I have been in a few, and some days the students are wildly out of control. My child's autism class
currently has 13 students more than the recommended of 10 students, and includes students in grades 2 through 6. I'll do the math for you. That is 5 different grade levels. All students go to mainstream, or they are supposed to go, for a portion of the day as a part of a free and appropriate education. They also attend recess and lunch with peers of their grade level. My son's teacher has to follow 3 different schedules. How she does it is beyond me. When one student is at a Gen Ed class, they are usually accompanied by an IA or a BT. There are times when students miss out on mainstream because of being short-staffed, or the class is just having one of those days. To remove an IA or a BT from the class will be detrimental to all students, teachers, aides, and in some cases, general education students. I urge you to look at alternative options rather than cutting staff from special education. I also urge you to visit classrooms. While I acknowledge that there is declining enrollment, there is not a decrease in special education students. Prior to voting on reductions, please request additional information, because yes, the numbers that were presented are very one-sided.
Hello, I'm Brian Licona. I go to Cabrillo College and I attended Watsonville High. I would like to say that in terms of budget cuts and firing like counselors and other teachers such as that's complete and utter BS. I think if your job is to help us, then help us. Don't just make it worse for us. I'm a student. I think I can know when something is wrong in my district, you know? I needed help with my counselor and she provided it. I think if you're going to remove that from other students who are probably going down the same route I did, that's completely wrong. That's vile. That's disgusting. I'm completely disappointed that this was even proposed. This is just gross and utter blasphemy. I do not like talking badly, but this is just making me feel disgusted to know that this is something that is being thought about. I think counselors are important. I think mental health is greatly needed. And the support that teachers and other counselors give is very much necessary for our students' development. I want to be a teacher and I want to help out my community, and to know that this was proposed is completely and utter just disgusting. I'm sorry for my words, but that's all I can think and say. I do not have a script or anything. I'm just going off what my brain says because I believe that is right. I'm looking at all of you and you all look bored. That's pretty funny, but yeah. Thank you all. Good night.
I'm Christina Carter. I teach at Minty White. I'm a kindergarten teacher. This is my first year teaching kinder, but my 34th year of teaching. I am very concerned about the cutting of classroom aides. And I was informed about a week ago that my current aide is in jeopardy right now of losing her job. She was confirmed today by our principal that her job would be reduced to 2 hours a day, from 3.75 to 2 hours a day. No other kindergarten teacher in this district, as far as I know, is getting their aide cut. I am Minty White. Why? No equity there. Our aides provide so much help to us. I have 23 kindergartners, and I think 5 of them went to preschool. 5. That's it. And I am looking back there at Christine Bayaca, who has helped at our school for years, and she's sitting there tonight knowing that her job is on the line. And Amy and Juan and Antonia, who is my aide. These people help our children. I cannot do it all alone in my classroom every day. I need their help. My students need their help. They help with socialization, one-on-one teaching. When kids having a crisis, I'm trying to help everyone else keep learning while someone else, I can't just step away and let them go, I don't know what, do what. My kids are great. I love teaching still. Not in that environment, though.
Hello, board. My name is Cesar Hernandez, Youth Justice Intern at Milpa Collective. As someone who not only wants to be a history teacher in this district, I'm here representing my youngest nonverbal brother who is at risk of losing these resources that he needs to learn with the help of our fantastic special ed assistants and teachers. I am deeply disappointed and appalled that this item is up for debate. So we are so willing to give $500,000 to Watsonville PD for SROs and $15,000 to Heather Contreras. Yet when it comes to our staff, our students, and our community, PVUSD becomes a bunch of penny pinchers. I implore the board to rethink these cuts and create more creative solutions to our existing problems. If you proceed with these cuts, then my message to the people: remember their faces, remember their names. The 2026 election season is right around the corner. If they can't support our community, they need to be removed. Flynn, Truly, Dodge, Crosco, Gabriel. Please make the right decision and that will benefit our community, that will not further harm us. My brother, who's barely starting out in life, depends on these educators. Thank you.
Dr. Navarro, do we have any other speakers?
Point of order.
Okay, thank you.
Point of order.
Yes?
Happy to see me? Bet you are. So, Ms. Flores, what agenda item are we on, as I have just attended, and who also proposed to put that agenda item to the agenda?
We are now moving on to board discussion for item number 8.2.
And who requested it? It's a two-part question.
And who requested, what was that?
Who wanted to add this to the agenda? Was it the superintendent? Was it the agenda setting? Who specifically requested this agenda be added to
Yes,
our agenda?
Our superintendent.
Our superintendent, after she received 15K. That's interesting. Thank you. Okay, just wanted to get that on record.
Olivia, I put in a card for 8.1.
Okay, Marilyn, go ahead.
I called you up, Marilyn.
Well, I'm sorry, Marilyn, this is not 8.1 though. This is 8.2.
She put in one for 8.2 as well. I called her up.
I put in a card for each one, 8.1.
I know, Marilyn, I called you up.
What?
I called you up.
Oh, okay,
Go ahead,
I'm
yes.
here. I hope you take some of the valuable recommendations from people who spoke tonight. I applaud the teachers who have such an extremely difficult job. And I'd also like to say, recommend a couple of books, because when I started teaching in '65, you didn't hear of autism. One book is called The Unfortunate Truth About Vaccines, Exposing the Vaccine Orthodoxy by Leon Canarod. Just came out recently, An Inconvenient Study, and a new book called Vaccines, Amen, The Religion of Vaccines. I'd also like to say, I used to have this bumper sticker that said, it'll be a great day when the schools have all the money they need and the Air Force has to have a bake sale to buy a bomber. We have tremendous money going to the military and $170 billion, I heard, for ICE. This needs to be reversed. We need money for social services, education, and students in need, not for Trump's tyranny. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I will now bring it back to the board for discussion.
Point of order.
Yes. I love that. He's been encouraged to bully me.
Oh, stop being a victim. Stop being a victim.
I'm a nice person.
Stop
I'm sorry
being a
that I don't
victim,
vote the way
please.
you always like me to, but I don't deserve to be treated this way.
I just showed up. If you can't handle the job, then step down as president. That's what you should do. Okay?
What was your
so
point of order?
I asked a point of order.
What was your point
My
of
point
order?
of order is, do we have a lawyer present? Lawyer, what firm are you here with? Can you please identify the firm you're here with? Lozano Smith. Got it. Also, another point of order, Ms. Lawyer, is it okay and acceptable for our board president and our superintendent to have a side conversation while we're hearing public comment? Because I think I would love to hear whatever they are saying to each other, and I think the public deserves that as well.
Give us transparency.
I would be happy to talk to the board about this, but in terms of what is on the agenda, this is what's on the agenda, but I can give.
I'm taking my time back. I'm asking a question.
I can give the board advice if that were to be an issue.
Well, you seem to be giving us a lot of bad advice because we keep paying for that bad advice that you give us as Lozano Smith. So my question that I'm asking is it okay for the president and the superintendent to have a sidebar, and I'd like a yes or no?
It's not on the agenda to have a discussion about this, but I would be happy to advise the board on this. But if I saw a Brown Act issue that was occurring, that's why I'm here, and I would bring that to your attention.
The legalese. Point of order. I love the legalese, but it was a yes or no question.
Point of order.
I have a point of order on the floor, so thank you.
I'm here to assist the board with Brown Act issues, and I don't see one.
You don't see one. Okay, well, I think as a board, we need to consider having the superintendent who is not elected sit at that table right there, and if she has something to say, we should all be able to hear it. Thank you.
The thing that I was going to say is that we do have on the agenda policy as a topic, and this might be a good opportunity to talk about that then, so that we are not violating any Brown Act. So that was where my point of order was coming from, to give the space to bring that up as an opportunity to maybe have that be a part of policy. Is that, yeah.
Okay, so we are bringing it back to our board for discussion. Who would like to start the discussion? Trustee Navarro?
I have a bunch of questions, if that's okay.
Hi, guys.
Thank you so much for your hard work and your presentation, and Mr. Castillo for all of your listenings, your community presentation on the budget going around. Can you do me a favor, and just because I've received so many